Welcome to the Technical Web Services Quality and Management Feature Overview. This is an introduction into two new features in the COUNTA system. I'm using my website as an example. And this is just really to sort of give people a visual overview of these features to save typing it out in an email and explaining it over the phone numerous times. They should be quite simple to understand, but the quality feature essentially details each page, which can be seen down here, and you would then look at the page. For example, I have a page called One Page Web Design Berkshire, of all things. I have a page called About, so I can click on this one and it will take me to the About page, and I can review it and say, well, am I happy with that? I can sort of pick up on things like, I have actually made a tweet, but it doesn't seem to be showing up there. That would be a more general thing, but after looking at that, for example, on here, these are all out of date. So, I can close that down and say widgets to write out of date. Something as simple as that. They're just supposed to be sort of notes, but I will pass that because the page is okay, but with an advisory because there's something out of date, and then update that. So you can see it's now an orange color, and the whole idea is to get these all to green. So obviously there's a lot of pages. Generally speaking, I exclude, for example, here I've got blog. I exclude the blog items. So if you've got a gallery or a project section, it will exclude the project items. So this will be excluded at a high level. That's the sort of the basics of that. I might come back to that in a bit, but the management section is something else that is the real reason for doing this video, because it's sort of a little harder to convey what the intention here is. So there's nothing here. This is new. You probably won't find this because you'll automatically have a year added, but I'm just showing it from scratch from this end. So I'll click add a year. So now I've got a 23 to 24 year. So this is basically the objectives for the year over the site, with regards to site management. So I can look in at this, and as you can see, it's showing me the known objectives for the year 23-24, and there aren't any at the moment. So I'll click add an objective, so it shows me these two screens. This is actually quite rudimentary and probably going to be sort of updated, but I could say put in an objective such as upgrade PHP. As you can see, I've done this for some reason somewhere before. So and then I'll type in there upgrade PHP from 5.4. It doesn't need to be explicitly detailed, and then I'll update that, and then what we'll have is a list of objectives. One is to upgrade the PHP, and obviously it's self-explanatory. But going back to the quality page, you might find that you pick up on something that, as we've done here. So on, we've got things on the right hand side. It could be that if I look at, say, this page on software development, I've got this done here on the right hand side. That's an old antiquated picture of the MySQL environment. So similarly, I could pick up on something here, take it over to the management section to have a look in there. I'll add an objective, and then I will put in an objective here. Just looking at some of the other things that don't review side elements in pages, and now I might put in here, many of the pages have outdated side elements referring to older software and capabilities, etc. Again, it's just note form. I mean, I can update this and edit this, but now I've got the I've got that objective detailed. Just as a quick note, the second table is for the results and recommendations. This is for going forward, so I will put in there upgrade from PHP, and then in here I might put complete and then tick the complete box, which doesn't actually function at the moment. So this is actually ongoing, but it's functional to the extent that you know, it's working at this moment for what I intend it to do, but it will be upgraded going forward anyway. So anyway, I'll update that record. So essentially now we've got two objectives. I'm not going to do any more, but we could think of anything. For example, you might want to start integrating video. You might want to start looking at reviewing the hero images that you're using, things of that nature. And at the end of it, essentially, what we end up doing is I will do this, but this will give you an idea of what this is, because this is a sort of very sort of coalface, behind the scenes structure that possibly isn't as intuitive or attractive to use as it could be, but at the end of the day, what it's designed to do is to export this as the sort of this. You should be able to see most of that. So I will basically copy and paste that, and then I will have a Word document here, and then I will basically put that in there to present essentially a finished document, which is a little easier to read, that shows the date the report was run, 8th of August, shows the objectives for 23 to 24 being the upgrade from 5.4 to 7.2 and a review of elements in pages. Obviously something like that, it's just a spelling mistake, so you know, I could update that in the original because obviously it's detailed down there. And so the customer, which is presumably you, would receive this, so that then you can say, well, okay, I see this is the objectives, but you might have other objectives. And the reason for this is because some people's objectives are quite different. For example, it could be down to just simple branding. You know, someone could be sort of looking to refocus the branding or the sort of particular service messages that they're delivering to the users of their website. And historically, a lot of updates to sites have focused on SEO, whereas you know, really that's not the only thing. And so this is why this has sort of come about. Obviously SEO can be in there, and I've sort of refrained from using that as an objective, because most people would say, yes, can you put SEO on the objective? We want to have more traffic for this or that. So again, so what I can do, and obviously I can go back here and say, well, we spelt that wrong. I mean, it's as simple as just changing that. I can rerun that. Let's copy and paste, and so obviously that's now spelt correctly. You know, if I wanted to put capitals, you know, I could, etc. But that's the ins and outs of it. That's the reason and the purpose for the for the management page. So hopefully the whole idea is that it will broaden the communication between myself and my customers with regards to overall objectives, across the year, and further giving them the opportunity to sort of express sort of intention for strategic development of the website, and to see that has been recorded for reference, and ease of determination of success and completion of those objectives over the year. I mean, some of these objectives could be client side, so they could be simply objectives that the client will intend to put forward. So it could be develop a portfolio of photos for completed jobs, which obviously technical web services I can't do. So that could be something that is entirely on the client side, but essentially it's just a tool to facilitate communication between TWS and the customer. And this video is really just to sort of give you an oversight as to how that works and what the end result is, i.e. the finished document that you see there, that we will then end up for your filing system. It will be updated incrementally, so you'll have report 1, 2, 3, 4, so you'll always have the latest one and be able to reference the older ones. But that's pretty much that. So if you've got any questions, give me a call, just ask. Obviously, if you're a prospective customer, there's lots of other things in here that are all designed to support the management and development of the site. It's been ongoing for, it's a system I've been using for 20 years. But this is really just to sort of cover the quality and the management sides, which are new for 2023. And any questions, just ask. Cheerio.